judge panel blocked the state's congressional districts from being used in the 2020 elections. Tonight we're getting reaction to the state's congressional delegation. Our Washington Bureau reporter Kevin Fry joins us now from our nation's capital. And Kevin, what are those lawmakers saying tonight?
Well, they are falling predictably along party lines in their response to all of this. Tim, Democrats are cheering Republicans, somewhat irritated by all of this. The split, of course, currently is 10 Republicans, 3 Democrats. Democrats could potentially see a boost if the maps are indeed redrawn. That would not only mean things for North Carolina, but potentially nationally, as Republicans look to try to flip back the House to their side in this next election. That could make it a little harder if Democrats have a better advantage in North Carolina. So here's a little bit of the back and forth we have heard today. Again, Democrats cheering, Republicans expressing frustration with the courts even getting involved.
When you look at our state and the makeup of our state, we should not have such a lopsided configuration. I think it was a win-win for our citizens, for the court to come back and say, listen, get it right.
When the judicial side, through these, I guess, Eric Holder lawsuits come in and goes against sometimes even the will of the people to the state legislature, it is frustrating, but we're looking at this and embracing it as far as seeing what needs to happen next, and whatever it is, we're going to continue to work as hard for the North Carolinians as possible.
I also had a chance to talk to Congressman George Holding, another Republican, in the hallway the other day about this case, and he said it basically underscores, from his point of view, the fact that Republicans have not pushed hard enough to get more Republicans on the bench on the state courts. Another big question here, of course, is will there be some sort of appeal? Will the defendants want to move forward in trying to have this case heard in court, heard out completely? There are a few North Carolina lawmakers, members of Congress, that are involved in this case, and I reached out to them today, and they would not give me any indication if they wanted to move forward, appeal, or just let the legislature redraw the lines, Tim.
All right, Kevin, interesting note on the NCAA today announcing the beginning of a process to allow those athletes to profit off their likeness. Mark Walker was just on screen there. He's pushed for this. Do we hear from him today on that issue?
Oh, right. So he is very skeptical about what he's hearing from the NCAA. They seem to open the door to potentially allowing athletes to profit off of likeness, image, their name. But, of course, there's some big questions, especially with the fact that they seem to just be at the starting point of this, that they would have to figure out the policies involved, and they still are trying to walk this line between professionalism and amateurism. We did see a statement from Congressman Mark Walker, who has that bill to try to force the NCAA's hand on this issue. He said, in part, "We clearly have the NCAA's attention. Now we need to have their action. While their words are promising, they have used words in the past to deny equity and basic constitutional rights for student athletes. The NCAA is on the clock, and while they are, we're going to keep working toward the passage of the Student Athlete Equity Act to make sure their words are forced into action." So just by that nature of itself, the fact that he wants to move forward with the bill suggests that he's not really buying what the NCAA is selling at the moment. We also heard from another North Carolina lawmaker reacting to this news out of the NCAA today. Senator Richard Burr tweeting that if college athletes are going to make money off their likeness while in school, their scholarships should be treated like income. I will be introducing legislation that subjects scholarships given to athletes who choose to cash in to income taxes. This is sparring a back and forth on Twitter between Walker and Burr. Walker firing back, in short, saying that this is not about income, this is about equality, this is about rights. So, Tim, it seems we are opening Pandora's box with this conversation, to put it lightly.
Yeah, interesting. It's a very divisive topic, no matter party or affiliation to school or anything. Something to keep an eye on. Kevin Fry, Washington, good to see you, sir. Thank you so much for all those updates. And